because I do seem to still be having some connectivity issues with that. Welcome to this week's water signs reading. Yeah, see, it's kind of like dropping frames a lot, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. I shouldn't lose internet entirely, so. For the water signs reading, that's going to be Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. And this is going to be for December 22nd, but it is a timeless reading, so whenever you see it, that's when it's right for you. Yeah, we're getting like crazy dropped frames here. I'm not sure what that's about. I'm not sure if it's because I'm using an Ethernet cable or if it's because it's close to the holidays and maybe people are at home and they're using their internet more. It's difficult to tell. But when I get done reading for each sign, I'm going to turn the cards over. And then when we go over to the extended, I will read for all of them together, and I will use this opal to get extra scry some messages over in the extended. And I do also want to let you know that I do personal readings at a variety of different price points. So you could get a written report, you could get a video, you could get a geomancy reading, a crystal scrying. And for the water signs, I'm going to be using this Florida water to purify the space. And just if you order a tarot reading video, I don't record those live. I record them. They're pre-recorded, so there wouldn't be any latency issues. I just wanted to clear that up. And it smells so lovely. The deck that I'll be using is Miss Cleo's Tarot Power Deck. So it brings back some nostalgia for me. Call me now, Tarot Shaman Miss Cleo. And it's actually a really good deck. I didn't realize I was gonna like it so much, but it is like ancient Egyptian themed, so I like that a lot for sure. And is a very well illustrated deck. Easy to use. Oh, thank you. Thank you for stopping by the reading. If you would, air signs for a moment. Air signs, water signs. Why do I keep thinking, I was having this problem during the earth signs reading too. I keep saying air signs. but this is a water signs reading. So let's get nice and relaxed. If you would just take a breath in, it doesn't have to be particularly deep or rough. And then hold for a minute. And just sigh that breath out. And release all the stress and tension and kind of roll it out of your shoulders a little bit. Oh, of course. And inhale and hold, and while you're holding, just kind of take a moment to condense all of the dark or troublesome or anxious or sad, depressed energies that you might be holding on to, any tension from your shoulders, kind of bring it to the forefront, and then just kind of sigh it all out and roll your neck back and forth. Okay, so now I think we're ready, and we can start on the Cancer reading. And I'll make a note of my timestamp there. All right, Cancer. So this could be sun, moon, rising, or any other placement that you'd like to know about, maybe even North Node, or a Venus placement. All of these things are relevant, or your 10th house, peeking at what's in your 10th house. So the first position that we have, Cancer, we have the Two of Coins, and this is all about balance. Now, the Two of Coins can also be a business partnership or some other kind of partnership where there could be like material wealth involved. So if this is a friendship, there could be aspects of that where there's a monetary exchange, or that there's money involved in that situation in some way. We have the Three of Swords crossing. And the Three of Swords can be a card of great tension, dispute, arguments, interpersonal conflict. Here this guy is being stabbed in the chest, so it's not necessarily an ending, but there could be a lot of conflict in a particular situation. Now, the Two of Coins is coming out upright, so I don't see this partnership ending. It could just be that at this particular time, there's a certain amount of disagreement going on. Personal differences, perhaps, or how things should be done. Here in the past, with the Seven of Wands, we have this man standing on the edge of a riverbank, probably the Nile, right? And he's looking out. He's got, so the way that this is drawn is very similar to the Nine of Wands, right, in meaning. But the Seven of Wands is also about having reached a certain pinnacle of success and having others kind of attacking you because of that, because of their jealousy, because of their own feelings of inadequacy, possibly. So coupled with what's going on in the current state of affairs, this card is showing up upright also. So you could have had a situation come together. Oh gosh, I'm sorry. You could have had a situation come together that was very advantageous for you. Like maybe you're just living right. Maybe you got a windfall of some kind. Maybe you had a boost in your social media presence. Something like that that led to an advantageous position for you. And if you are in certain business partnerships, the people that you're involved with might not see that as a positive for them. They might just be seeing it as something that they're like, oh, this might take you away from our situation. They might see it as like, well, how come they have that? That's what I wanted, right? So there could be a few different situations tied up in that, right? Down here in the Imam Cancers, we have the Hermit. So as a result of this, possibly, it looks like you are kind of tucking yourself away from the general public. And another aspect of this could be your own spiritual development. You might be also focusing at this time on your spiritual development and not as much on the material, not as much on your public presence either. So from your perspective, Cancer, we have a very good card. It's the Chariot, and this is actually Cancer's card in the Major Arcana. So you're also showing up very strong in your own reading, Cancer, as the Chariot. The Chariot is about victory, and the Chariot is also about mobility. So, such that you are able to move forward and be effective in the ways that you are hoping to accomplish these things. From the outside perspective looking in, we have the Eight of Swords, and this card is showing up reversed. So people looking into your situation see that you are no longer trapped by certain things as well, or that you no longer seem trapped by certain things. So other people looking in on your life might have perceived that you were trapped in some way. Are you trapped in there, Cancer? But now they're understanding that you're not. In the future position, this has to do with things that are right around the corner, and I do see that you're manifesting things, but you don't yet see them coming to fruition. So, not that they won't, just that in the immediate future, you'll have a bit longer to wait for your manifestations to come through. But things are going really well. It's just, it might also be because you are taking some time right now to focus on spiritual development rather than material things. Because we do have, of course, that mobility coming through, not being trapped anymore, and some modest levels of success as well, right? And it's kind of like that crab mentality. Funny I should say that in a Cancer reading, right? But that idea that crabs will like pull each other back down into a bucket if one of the crabs has a possibility to escape from the bucket, the other crabs will pull it back down because they don't want to allow anyone to get things better than them, right? And so this would be an interesting case in which others around you are exhibiting the crab mentality even more than you, Cancer. I don't think Cancers are particularly prone to the crab mentality, actually, but can often fall victim to it because of that need that they have for emotional reciprocity with other people. So, from your hopes and dreams, we have the Knight of Coins in the reverse. You might be afraid that money is going to go out much more quickly than it is able to come in. But I wouldn't fear that. I would hope rather, so it's like a change in your perspectives, that rather than fearing the worst, focus on hoping for the best, because that is then what you will end up manifesting. And if you change that point of view, it might also speed up the manifestation process on whatever this is that we're seeing here with the Magician card in the future. So here in the midheaven position, this is going to be the direct result of this down here with the Hermit. We do have the Ten of Swords. And the Ten of Swords is a card of ending, but it's not a particularly bad card. You know, it gets a bad reputation because you have this guy completely run through with swords. This is total overkill, right? Even in some very awkward places, right? Awkward and painful places. But the Ten of Swords is mostly an ending. It's going to put an end to this conflict that we see here in the current situation. And it's going to clear a lot of stuff out of your path as you continue toward your destiny. The final outcome that we have for you today, Cancer, is the Seven of Swords in the reverse. And I see this card not in the reverse because of it being in the future and being unforeseen. I see this more as like the final outcome being that people are not going to be able to trick you anymore, Cancer. People are not going to be able to pull the wool over your eyes. And you will be able to be much more effective in all of these things that you are striving to accomplish. All right, Cancer, so that is your reading for this week. And remember, these readings are timeless, so if you come across this video later, the messages can still apply to whatever time you find this video, because of course life is very long and sometimes things are cyclical, and sometimes people don't find these videos right when they're first posted. And maybe if you run across it later, that might just be your sign that it's for you at this time. So now we're going to move on to the sign of Scorpio. And we're going to be looking at Scorpio sun, moon, rising. Any other Scorpio placements? Maybe you have a Scorpio North Node. Maybe you have Scorpio in the second house. things that you'd like to know about moving forward, in particular situations. There's really a lot of potential to get information from your birth chart, so don't always just stick strictly to the sun, moon, and rising. You will know if the vibration is right for you. And remember that at the end of each reading, I turn the cards over so that when we go over to the extended, I look at all the energies together for the element collectively. Scorpio, interesting. A lot of court cards so far. No? A lot of minor arcana. We have a pair of court cards. Okay. Oh, interesting. Scorpio. We don't have any of the scorpionic cards coming out necessarily. We do have the King of Coins in the past, and we have the Queen of Coins reversed in the future, so that's interesting. Let's start with this past placement. Where we have the King of Cups, King of Coins. So the King of Coins is somebody who is financially successful, could be associated with Taurus energy. Taurus being second house, financial stability. And this energy is going to carry over into the current environment because it's upright and in the past. So if it is reversed and then the past, then I see this as like at one point you were in this energy and now you're not. But I feel like this coming in from the past, you're still very much in this King of Coins energy. So that is a certain level of financial accomplishment, whatever that means for you, and that it's a stable kind of an energy as well. Here in the current state of affairs, we do have the Five of Cups upright. So this can be about disappointment. And you still have, resources available to you. This is not a card of ruin. It's more like just a card of kind of crying over spilled milk most of the time. And it's also crossed by this Four of Swords. So what that tells me is that you might be in a period of rest, or kind of a time where there's not a lot going on, and you are disappointed by this. It could be that you don't really have any solid holiday plans. It could be that you're kind of laying low because of some of the circumstances that are out in the world. I know particularly here in Los Angeles, we have decided not to leave our house until probably into the new year because everybody's just lost their minds around the holidays. And this kind of feeling that nothing ever happens around here. Well, that's just not true. It's just that right now we're in kind of it's a slow period for some. I would say, based on this Four of Swords, it would be a wonderful time to just kind of get some rest and relaxation in your life. Down here in the Imam Silai, we have the Three of Staffs. So despite these feelings of disappointment here, I do still see that the energies that you've put out are starting to return to you at this time, Scorpio. So a couple of things that you could do to kind of allay some of these feelings of disappointment is treat yourself. Go ahead and sleep in. Take lots of baths. Rest, rejuvenate, recycle. Meditate. This is a great time to get in lots of wonderful meditation leading up to the new year, right? And we have, evidence that the energies that you've put out are starting to pay off. So it's not that there's really so much of a need to feel disappointed. I would say start with some gratitude exercises. So people talk about gratitude a lot. Let me just take an aside here. This won't take but a moment of your time, I promise. People say this word gratitude a lot, but where we're here in this energy of kind of feeling depressed around the holidays, kind of feeling down, feeling like there's not a lot going on, not really knowing, what's the deal. You have a lot to be grateful for. We've got this King of Coins energy right here in the past. That's good, stable money and a good financial outlook going into 2022. So it's important to keep sight of that. Not necessarily that you need to know where every single paycheck of 2022 is going to come from, but it's going to be there because that's the work you've been putting in, that's the intention that you set, right? And we are seeing returns. We are seeing some payoff to this hard work. So I would urge you to do some gratitude exercises around the holidays. It's a great time to be working on that, where you just sit down and you make a list of all of the things for which you are immensely grateful and the things that leading into the next year you have to look forward to. And just focus on those things. That's what gratitude is really about. It's about focusing on the positive energies that you're fostering in your life so that those are the things that raise your vibration, and vibrationally you attract more of the same. Okay? So down here, from your perspective, we have the Emperor. You very much see yourself in this energy with the King of Coins. There's control here. There's rule by divine will. The Emperor is very much in charge of his domain. And this is an Emperor upright. This is the benevolent leader. Okay, this is not the despot. This is not the tyrant. Oh, thank you. This is somebody, and you are perceiving yourself to embody this energy of somebody who is getting organized, getting their life together. Now, it's very interesting that you see yourself that way, because from the outside looking in, we have the devil. Now, this could be interpreted a few different ways, Scorpio. You could be feeling certain temptations at this time, right? Especially if, you're feeling kind of down, and you have a lot of free time on your hands around the holidays, right? You might be feeling tempted by some different things. And from the outside, others might be trying to tempt you. Oh, hey, there's this really great holiday party going on, everybody's gonna be there. We're all gonna be jammed into this 2-bedroom apartment in Las Vegas. And no, everybody's vaccinated. Everybody's gonna be wearing a mask. It's not a big deal, right? So temptations like that. It could also be that although you are making great changes for the better and have consistently been doing so, right? These are the cards that are showing up for you here. So even though these are the energies that you're embodying, that there are still going to be some people who perceive that you have not conquered your demons. And that's really going to help you. I find in a lot of the readings that this particular placement of people's outside opinions really helps us to understand who has a place in our life and who, moving into 2022, maybe we just don't call them so much, you know? You don't wish that person any ill will. I mean, I'm striving to get to a point in my life where I don't wish ill will upon anyone ever, right? But that, you know, maybe y'all's energies just are not aligned, and it's time for you to go your separate ways. Here in the future, we have the Queen of Coins, and she is showing up in the reverse. But I feel like this card is showing up reversed in the future because you don't see this situation coming in yet, right? We've already kind of been in this King of Coins energy. We don't really want to take a step back from there, but it's important to see the Queen of Coins energy is not necessarily a step back from the King. The King is air of earth energy. So we're combining the best of these oppositional forces, the discernment of air plus the material wealth, right? Where we have the Queen of Coins, we have water of earth energy. It's a much more fertile energy, right? We're watering the soil. We are allowing for growth. And that's why we have this little bunny rabbit down here in the corner. Because bunny rabbits are particularly prolifically fertile themselves. So I think that what this means is in the past your wealth came from this discernment. That's also what we're embodying here with this Emperor energy. But that moving forward into the future, your wealth is going to be coming in more from this watering the soil, a proliferation. So let's look at the area of the hopes and fears. And we have the Seven of Cups showing up in the reverse there. And this, you can see that he's kind of trying to grasp at all of these cups that are flying above his head, right? But he's stuck in this, it could be quicksand, it could be a whirlpool, that he's not able to reach these things. And that might be something that you are afraid of at this time. The wind could change and one of these could fall down and bonk him right on the head, right? He's got all this water swirling around him, and perhaps he's still quite thirsty. And these are all things that we can think about with the Seven of Cups in the reverse. When the Seven of Cups is upright, we have another kind of proliferation. We have this proliferation of idea and possibilities, so that even though cups are not necessarily an idea card like the swords would be, that the Seven of Cups is all these myriad of possibilities, some of them good, some of them bad. But when the cup is reversed like this and it's in your hopes and fears position, it's kind of like you feel like you might be grasping at straws, or it could be that you're afraid you're not going to be able to perceive and seize upon the right opportunity when it comes along. And I'm going to have to tell you, Scorpio, that there are a few things that a lot of the readers say, and one of them is, what is right for you will never pass you by. I've heard that from Queen Amun-Ra, and I've heard it from Baba Jolie. And I always like to quote my sources in my videos so you know who I'm watching the most. Up here in the midheaven position, so this is going to be the direct result, right, of what is going on down here with the Three of Staves. We're starting to see results from the energies that we've been putting out there. We're going to have a choice. Now, you don't see this choice coming yet, and therefore you are not necessarily going to be able to make the choice with the information that you have right now. You're going to have to wait for more evidence to come in before you're going to be able to see this fork in the road and see which path that you will need to take. But it will be coming, and it will be coming based on the things that are going to be coming in for you. And the final outcome card is a new job, a new way of making money being offered to you. This Page of Coins is similar to the Page of Cups in that there is an offer being made. In this case, the offer is material resources and wealth. All right, Scorpio, so that is your reading for this week. And now we are going to be moving on to the very patient sign of Pisces. I'm just going to flip all these cards over. I try to remember to write down my timestamps, but I don't always do the very best job. But I can go back and check later. And when the live stream is finished, then I go back and I put the timestamps down in the description box. And I like to do that because I know I like to mostly just watch my own signs. I know some people will watch other multiple signs, and I think you should have the freedom to watch whatever resonates with you. If you really feel like that Gemini reading is going to tell you what you need to hear, maybe you're tapping into that energy for a reason. I certainly don't discourage cross-watching either. I think, it's fine if you're in a healthy situation with another person to check up on their energies. But you're going to get a much better idea of what actually is going on if you are actually communicating with that person. So I encourage people to cross-watch when it is healthy. and in healthy ways. Okay, so Pisces, let's see what is going on for you. Competition at a job. Interesting. Competition, but it looks like a lot of group collaboration as well. And we have the Nine of Pentacles in the past, so that's good. All right, Pisces. Well, everybody's been getting a lot of minor arcana cards this time around this week. And I think that's good. I mean, I would hope that during the Christmas week that you wouldn't have a lot of turmoil and strife in your life. That is always my hope and my intention for you. Let's look at the past first, Pisces, because I see stuff I like back there. It's shiny and it's gold. And we have the Nine of Pentacles in the reverse in the past. So there was a time very recently, possibly, where you had this financial freedom, or you achieved financial freedom. So this card is in the past, which means there's a certain closure to that energy in its relation to the current situation. But that doesn't mean that you're destitute at this time. It just means that you had finally achieved this thing that you had worked very hard for. In the current situation, we have this Three of Coins. So this is a collaborative project. It can also be about your reputation professionally. And what better way to build one's professional reputation, Pisces, than collaboration with others, right? Crossing this, we have the Five of Wands. And the Five of Wands is a card about competition. But you can see they're not really trying to hurt each other as much as they are training. This is a training exercise in which the competition and rivalry is meant to bolster everyone in the situation up rather than bring anyone down or push anyone down. So there could be a project like this that you're working on in a professional capacity, Pisces. This could be in your workplace, but it could also be you starting a business with some other investors, with some other co-owners, co-managers. So all of those things are possible. Down here in the M50, this is going to be all of the activities that are leading toward the eventual destiny that we're going to look at in the midheaven, okay? So what we have in the M50 is the Two of Staffs. This is a card about planning. It is a card about looking outward into the future to see what's ahead. Foresight. It can be a card about divination. It can be about your vision board and plotting a course, navigation, looking at a map. Because, of course, the map is not the territory. Only when we get to the Three of Staffs and see those energies returning to us do we get a better picture. From your perspective, Pisces, we have the Three of Cups reversed. So this can be about your friendships. This can be about people that you have around you. Sometimes Three of Cups reversed can be a third-party situation. But that when this card is coming out reversed, maybe these people are not terribly loyal friends to you. Maybe you're questioning the loyalty in your friend group. Maybe you feel like your friends are partying too much. and you can't spend time with them because that's not what you're doing right now. From an outside perspective, looking in, now it's very interesting that we've had these two energies come out together, where we have the idea that, you know, this friend group, I'm not really vibing with them. But from the outside looking in, people could see you as this ruthless person who just kind of like cuts people out of their life for no reason, or because of some kind of minor conflict leading to you cutting them out of your life. And that might not be exactly the whole picture. Like from your perspective, you might have really looked at this situation and maybe there was like a minor disagreement between the two of you over something, and that kind of served as a catalyst, or maybe it wasn't even consequential. It just happened by coincidence that these two things lined up, that you would quit communicating with this person, and that this perceived slight would have occurred, right? But from your perspective, it looks like this is something that you had kind of been mulling over in yourself. That maybe these aren't the best people for me to be super close with, right? So just know that from the outside, unless you give these people a better indication, and that's really just going to depend on how much closure you like to give other people, Pisces. Definitely protect your own energies. You might feel like it wouldn't matter what you said to them, that they would not understand. But just know that there might be a slight difference in that perception. They might think that you cut them out of your life because of some minor slight. So just be aware of that. Here in the future, this is a very good card for the future. It's the Fool card. And this urges us to go out and do things. Now, this guy is enjoying a little bit of the bubbly, it looks like. This could be a New Year's celebration for some of you. He is in danger of backing himself over this cliff. But the Fool is all about new beginnings, and it's about going into each new situation without a lot of preconceived baggage. Now, this card is in the future, so it could be showing up reversed because it's in the future. It could also be showing up reversed because now you have the benefit of a lot of extra layers of context, and there's a difference between context of experience and baggage. And so this Fool card showing up in the reverse in the future is urging you not to be overly jaded, and urging you to kind of release a lot of baggage. That could be your New Year's resolution going into the new year. Release some of that baggage. Here in the hopes and fears, we have the Page of Staffs. And this Page of Wands is a very good energy to have in your hopes and fears. It is a very hopeful energy. It's a very enthusiastic energy. It could be hoping for like a New Year's one-night stand too. But that's your business. That's not my business. Here in the midheaven, so this is going to be the result of this Two of Staffs planning, okay? We have the Ace of Wands, and it's showing up in the reverse. The Ace of Wands is a strong, potent energy. It is masculine fertility. It is virility. It is an energy that is associated with new, creative, and romantic beginnings. Your passions renewed. So where the Ace of Cups is more like emotional bonding between people, the Ace of Staffs would be more of a romantic sense. So it could be a romance card, but it could also be about new creative endeavors. We have the Five of Staffs here crossing the current position. We have the Two of Staffs. We're doing that planning process down in the Imam Silai. So whatever it is that you're planning moving forward, you have a promising new beginning for that. Now, I don't think you're going to see this coming in right away. This is the eventual destiny. But I do think that energy is there. The potential for that is there. And it's going to be up to you to bring it and manifest it in the 3D world. And the final card for your reading, Pisces, is the Eight of Staffs reversed. So this again is going to be closure. This is a swift ending coming to something. But it is going to be reliant on some different things. So like this Ace of Staffs here and the Eight of Staffs here, these are in the reverse in the future. And I feel like there's some things that you're going to have to final out before this really comes to fruition. So part of it is going to be not having a lot of preconceived notions going into something. Because actually to have like this kind of an ending instead of a Ten of Swords or a Death card or a Tower card, this Eight of Staffs, especially because on this card he's aiming these wands up into the air. So there's a trajectory, right? It's like the beginning of the story, and then we have the climax of the story, and then we go down into the denouement, right? So that's planned out. That's something that you have planned out. Okay, Pisces? So if you put in the effort and the energy to plan this out properly now, let me make sure my square turns back green. You want to make sure that you're putting in the proper planning energy so that you can manifest this swift closure to one situation and a brand new cycle beginning. Okay? So that is going to be the Pisces reading for this week. Thank you so much for joining me. If you would like more messages, you can head over to the extended, and I will be posting that video very soon. And until next time, I hope you have very happy holidays. Many happy returns, and I look forward to seeing you again very, very